I have a love-hate relationship with the word mid. On one hand, I use it myself, but on the other hand, I see it so misused and overused here on the internet. When I describe something as mid, it means that I feel something is just middle of the road and doesn't appeal to me all that much, but I can still acknowledge the strong points of said thing. For example, Breath of the Wild. I've been more than upfront over the years that I don't care for that game at all. I made a whole video about why I don't care about the game a few months ago, and I described the game as mid. Because Breath of the Wild certainly is not a bad game, I can totally understand why people love it so much, but the game just didn't click with me personally. So because I don't think it's a downright bad game, I just call it mid. I can acknowledge that it's a fine game, just one that doesn't appeal to me all that much. As an aside, I hear that Tears of the Kingdom is much better than Breath of the Wild in many ways, so maybe I'll give it a try someday. But anyways, now that I've explained what I mean when I say the word mid, here's what really fucking annoys me when it comes to so many other people's usage of the word. A lot of people seemingly use the word mid as a synonym for bad. Like I've seen so many people describe albums or games or movies or TV shows, etc. as mid-garbage. So which is it? Do you think this thing is mid or do you think it's garbage? Because the two words kind of cancel each other out. Mid is literally short for saying middle of the road, meaning that something is just decent or not really that noteworthy, but not exactly horrible. But it seems that's just completely thrown out the fucking window in favor of just calling anything you don't like mid. The word just muddies what people actually think about a certain thing, because now when I hear someone describe something as mid, I don't know if they mean that something is actually bad, or if they're actually using the word mid correctly, and they mean that something is just middle of the road. But this is a problem with internet slang in general. The slang word starts off fine, but then people misuse and overuse the word to fucking death. The word has become a stand-in in favor of actually critiquing something you don't like. Why bother explaining why you don't care for something so much when you can just slap the word mid on it and call it a day? Look, I have no problem with the word itself. I've used it in the past, and if I ever come across something that I feel is genuinely mid in the future, then I'll call it mid. All I ask is for everyone else to be clear on what exactly they mean when they use the word mid themselves. Because again, the word means that something is just middle of the road, not that spectacular. It does not mean that something is absolute trash. And again, since I've seen so many people use the word as an alternative for saying something is bad, I now don't know what the fuck someone means when they call something mid. I don't know if they're properly using the word or misusing the word. I now have to ask someone to clarify what the fuck they mean when they call something mid. And this is all the fucking internet's fault. You took a perfectly fine slang term and completely muddied the waters when it comes to what the fuck it even means. Am I making a mountain out of a molehill? Probably, but I've seen this word mangled and misused so much for the past year and a half or so, to the point where I can't resist talking about it anymore. Knowing the definition of a word and properly using said word is not too much to ask for. And I think online critique and analysis suffers as a whole because people choose not to actually critique what they don't like, but instead just say, mid, this game is mid, this movie is mid, this TV show is mid, and refuse to elaborate any further. You may think that this is a weird thing to rant about, but I don't fucking care, because few things annoy me more than aimlessly throwing around buzzwords in place of actually clarifying how you really feel about a given subject. Like, what if this channel consisted of 2-second videos of me just saying, oh, this is bad, that's bad too, that's also bad, and no further elaboration whatsoever on what I mean and what I think about a given subject. No one would waste their time watching that shit, and I don't like wasting my time listening to someone say something is mid with no further elaboration whatsoever. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.